The top 10 rules about money that you won't learn in school. What did you learn in college about how to handle your own money? Credit, investing, money management, or did you only take the classes you had to take to get your diploma? Well, these classes weren't very useful for most people, just like calculus, astronomy, and anthropology. The longer I've been out of college, the more I'm disappointed with how much information I didn't learn. The world tells us that if we go to school and get a job, everything will be fine. But it's not that easy, unfortunately. If you want to be successful in the real world, you need to know a lot more about money than what you can learn in school. All success stories are built on a strong foundation of personal finances. Our team of experts has made a list of the 10 most important rules that everyone should follow to be ahead of the game with their finances. This will save you the trouble of having to learn from your own mistakes. Get a pen and paper, because here are the 10 most important rules about money that you won't learn in school. Before we start, why don't you click the button that says subscribe and a bell icon to make sure you never miss one of our videos. Let's begin. 10. Buying your first house. You probably heard the saying, if you want to buy a house, you have to save up to 20% of the price as a down payment. If you don't, you'll have to pay private mortgage insurance, which could be very expensive. What you won't learn in school is that even though higher mortgage payments may hurt, it might be worth it to pay more now and wait to save up for the 20% down payment. When we look at the big picture of the U.S. economy over the past 10 years, the rate of real estate appreciation has gone up a lot, but wages have stayed the same. So, it's not possible to start saving 20% of the home's value, because it will only go up a lot over time. The rule behind this is that you should only do it if you can save the money without much trouble in at least 5 years. But if it takes you longer, you'll be chasing a moving target as prices go up. 9. Save, save, save. In school, you'll learn that you should save at least 10% of what you earn. But let's be honest, this isn't enough to live on for the rest of your life, unless you are making a lot of money. Most of us who get a regular paycheck should be able to save between 25% and 40% of what we make. We're not saying that 10% is a waste of time, but it could be a great way to start saving. To save more money, cut back on expenses and costs you don't need. Instead of buying that cup of coffee every morning, you could save that money in a better paying account. 08. Emergency fund. You might not have learned about emergency funds in school, but you're lucky that we can teach you about it. Recent numbers show that up to 40% of Americans don't have enough money for a $400 emergency. This is a scary number that shows how many people don't think an emergency fund is important. What would you do if you were fired today? Would you be able to pay for everything? The golden rule is to have enough money saved to cover your costs for 6 months, but the more you can save, the better. 7. The basics of budgeting. Even though budgeting is important, you won't learn about it in school. If you don't learn the basics of budgeting in school, you may be at a disadvantage when you leave school, especially if you move out. If you don't know how to pay your bills and tell the difference between wants and needs, you might have to deal with one problem after another. Everyone needs to know how to plan a life that can be paid for with money they've earned. This means knowing how to plan for all of your bills while still making sure you have enough money for groceries and savings. But let's be honest, as important as budgeting is, no one likes keeping track of every penny they spend. Instead, you can do what is called tactical budgeting. This means making plans and budgets over a long time period. For example, you can figure out what you need every month and put your needs, wants, and costs for the next 6 months into a budget. After making a plan, you can divide the money into different accounts to make sure you don't spend more than you can afford. Then, when you need to stay on track, you can look at your list. 06. Compound interest. The power of interest that builds up over time may be the best kept secret. Time is the one thing that every young person has over everyone else. Even though they might not reach their financial goals right away, they have a better chance of doing so if they invest. All they have to do is use the power of interest that builds up over time. By putting away small amounts of money in an account with a high interest rate, young people can build up a lot of wealth that will grow over time. Here's a great example to show how important compound interest is. If you had to choose between $3,000 and a penny that doubles in value every other day, which would you choose? Most people would probably pick the first option, right? Most likely, so did you. But if you do the math, the second choice would be worth $10 million after only 30 days. If that doesn't make you want to start taking advantage of this amazing chance to make more money, I don't know what will. 5. How to get credit. Most young people max out their first credit cards as soon as they get them. Then, they end up with a lot of debt and have to pay huge amounts of interest rates. In some cases, this leads to late payments, which could hurt them in the long run. Most people don't know how important it is to keep a good credit history and credit score. But they probably wouldn't know the secrets if schools spent more time teaching them this important life skill. What you need to know is as follows. Your credit score is one of the most important parts of your financial health, and it usually tells you where you stand financially as an adult. With a good score, it's much easier to buy a house, get a car, and get a loan for your business. It also makes it much easier to reach other goals in the future. We can't forget how important credit is any longer. Everyone should know how to build credit and always have a good credit score. Here are some ideas about how to do this. Get a credit card first. Most people think that getting a credit card is a bad idea, but it actually helps you build your credit score in a big way. Let me give you a good example. I have a friend named John Mark. Like some people, he avoided getting a credit card for most of his young years after he graduated from school. Doesn't sound like a big problem, right? But when he tried to buy a house and a car, he couldn't get any loans approved because he didn't have a credit report yet. When you get a credit card and use it, financial institutions keep track of all the purchases you make and the interest you pay. They will give you a score based on how well you do your job. When you go to get a loan, this score will be used to figure out how much you can borrow and how much interest you will pay. 2. Pay your debts on time every time. There's no way around this. If you owe money today, you have to pay it today. 4. Insurance rules. If you have people who depend on your money, you should get life insurance. This could be your kid, your partner, or your parent. Term insurance is better than life insurance because you can use it whenever you need to. But if no one depends on you for money, you can cancel a policy to save money. Get insurance for things other than your life, as well as for your life. This includes your health, car, home, and other expensive things. You can also get umbrella insurance, which covers more than one policy and gives you a discount if you buy it from the same insurer. Before you choose an insurance company, take the time to look at the different rates and features they offer. 3. Taxes. Because taxes are such a broad subject, they are rarely talked about in school. If you want to stay on the right side of the law, you need to know how they work. Learn how to figure out the tax rate and how much money you will have left over before you get your first paycheck or make any money from your business. This will help you figure out if a job offer will meet your financial needs and how to set the right price for your products or services. There are a lot of online calculators that can help you out though. They will show you your gross pay, how much tax you have to pay, and how much money is left in your account. This is called your take-home pay. Watch out for the marginal tax rate that affects your raise as well. For example, if your salary goes from $35,000 to $41,000 a year, you won't get $500 more a month, but $345. There's a lot of bad information and bad advice out there, so make it a habit to do your own tax returns. Be careful. 2. Watch out for your health. Without insurance, a trip to the hospital for an injury like a broken knee can cost several $1,000s. What will happen if you end up in the emergency room and can't pay your monthly health insurance premiums? You might have to borrow money to pay for your medical bills, which puts other people's plans on hold. Doesn't sound right, does it? Get a health plan right away if you don't have one. You can also save a lot of money by taking care of your health. This means eating the right foods, keeping a healthy weight, working out regularly, and not drinking too much alcohol or other substances that are addicting. You don't want to regret not taking care of your health, so do it today. 1. College debt isn't always a must. People think that a college degree and student loans go hand in hand, but you don't need a college degree to get a student loan. 85% of recent college graduates complain about how much debt they have and how much of their first paycheck goes toward paying it off. You don't always have to get these loans to go to college. Some places like Davidson College in Charlotte help students avoid getting into debt. Other schools offer a good education for a fraction of what it costs to go to a private school. You could also go to school part-time, work while you study, go to a cheaper school, finish quickly, or start at a community college. But we're not saying that everyone should try to go to school without any debt. It might be worth it sometimes. If you are about to start a very high-paying career, a few $1,000s shouldn't stop you. But don't make this debt the most important thing about being a college student. There are so many other ways to get where you want to be in your career. We hope you've learned a few things today. If you're still here, I bet you liked the video. Give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. We make regular videos about money that can help you get ahead, so stay tuned. Having said that, I'll see you in the next one.